Scripture will unfold itself before him in a series of the most fantastic mystical experiences, and then he'll know who he is. Then he tells it to the best of his ability. I would like to tell it in writing, but I do not consider myself a writer. But others will come and pick it up and they'll tell it. But it doesn't matter. I'm telling it from the platform to the best of my ability. And I'm telling you what I know, and I am not speculating. I am not engaged in any speculation, trying to set up some little workable philosophy of life. I go back to Scripture and find that I find there confirmation of what is happening in me. It was always there, but I didn't have the ability to see it, not until it happened in me. So when people talk about Jesus, and you think of something on the outside, or they use the word God, or they use the word Lord, and your mind jumps outside of yourself that that's something on the outside, you have a false God, and a false Lord, and a false Jesus. If the name Jesus causes you to think of something other than yourself, you've got the false Jesus. For he is concentrated in his name, and his name is in us. That's what you're told in Scripture. And that name forever and forever is I am. That's the name. That's your own marvelous, wonderful human imagination. That's God. That you misuse it, no one can deny. But the day will come when you fully understand it and fully accept it, you will not misuse it any longer. You'll be completely in control of your imagination and what you're doing with it. So his name is actually concentrated in you. And that is his real presence. And therefore he's not on the outside. Don't think for 1 second you'll find him better in the cathedrals of the world or the synagogues of the world, when they have all these things and hidden veils and all these. It's all nonsense. All nonsense. You step into a cathedral or a synagogue and you think you're in holy ground? No. Wherever you are is holy. In the presence of one you love, that is the holiest of holies. That's the holy ground. And I'm telling you from my own experience that the expression God is love is true. In spite of the horrors of the world, that statement is true. I stood in the presence of the Ancient of Days. Where? Must be within myself, for he dwells within. Yet he seemed at the moment to be another, because he questioned me as though he were another, and asked me to name the greatest thing in the world. And when I answered love, he embraced it, and our bodies fused, and we became one body, one spirit, one Lord, one God and Father of all. Yet I did not lose my identity. Then he sent me into the world. So I know, being fused, I cannot be defused. Therefore the sender and the saint are one. So in the capacity of the saint, I appear and do act less than myself, the sender, only in the office of the saint. But in my essential being, having fused with this one, I am one who sent me. I sent myself. So the sender and the saint are one. But I am limited while I am in the office of the saint. And one day I will take off this little garment, which I annex, and then I'll return to myself, the sender, who is God the Father, having told the story as I was sent to tell it. But I am self-sent. And one day you'll be self-sent. You'll draw yourself into the depths of your own self and stand before the Ancient of Days. It's yourself. And you'll answer as I did. So make no mistake about it. He will ask you a very simple question. What is the greatest thing in the world? And you'll answer automatically. Faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. And you'll embrace yourself. And you're one. Then, at that moment, you're sent. And if the same words ring out in your ear that rang out in mine, these are the words, down with the blue blood, which does not mean destroy society. It has nothing to do with the social structure of the world. It means all external rituals, all church protocol, for it's an empty, empty shell, meaning nothing. So when you see all the rituals, and people turning to this as something sacred, forget it. It's all within you, so done with all church protocols, all ceremonies, all rituals. And you can go to the Christian church or the Jewish church, and they all have the same external ritual. If you ever gone to a synagogue on the day of a bar mitzvah, it was my great pleasure to go to a bar mitzvah. And we all divided based upon whether we were one tribe or the other. Well, I was not a one or the other, but I was invited, so they put me on one side, because it was the boy's father who invited me. So I went there. And when they brought the scroll out, when they came to the name of God, he took his wonderful robes and he covered the name that you may not look upon the sacred name. Well, I mean, a man wrote that. That whole scroll was first of all made by the human hand, and it was written by a human hand as it was written, and yet man then worships the works of his own hand, as we do in the Christian churches. Every little thing up there was made by man's hand. The candlesticks, the candles, the little icon, the little thing called Jesus on the wall, the cross on the wall. Who made them? Man's hand made them, and he turns around and worships his own hand. His works of his own hand. So I tell you, the words that rang out in my ears when I was sent out to that wonderful square within thee is done with the blue blood. And then it was revealed to me after I came out. It means church protocol. Every external form of worship, all rituals, everything of that nature, you're not going to find him there. But I'll tell you, you're going to find him. And when you find him, the Bible will become alive to you. For the whole thing is now a written word. And the words become alive because you have experienced it. And so then you reinterpret Scripture in the light of your own experience. And you realize you are the God who actually dictated it. For these are the words of God through his messengers, the prophets.